Hello everybody and welcome to this full moon pick a card reading for October 6th or 7th, depending on where you are in the world. This is for the full moon in Pisces in sidereal astrology at 20 degrees, taking place in the Revatina Nakshatra. It is symbolized by nourishment, prosperity, growth, and vitality. It's ruled by the planet Mercury, and it offers guidance and protection on one's path. The symbol is a drum for keeping time, the animal a female elephant, and the color is brown. So I have three piles laid out before you, and these were drawn at random. Pile number 1 is going to be self. This is number 14. Ironically, number 2 is also 14, and it's the King of Earth or King of Coins. And the third pile is going to be love, number 12. So take your time, pause if you need to, and meditate on which pile is calling you most. And I'll put timestamps down below and see you in your selected pile. Hello, pile number 1. You chose this card, the Self. Let's see what messages Spirit has for you for this full moon period. And beginning with your first tarot card, we have the Moon. So in sync and in cycle harmony with the lunar energy this month. Number 18, ruled by Pisces. Then we have 5 of Swords, defeat. 4 of Swords, truce. And adjustment, number 8. This is typically the strength card, but in this deck it is justice. Balance, there's Libra. We have the Sun moving into Libra October 18th, and Jupiter moves into Cancer October 17th, forming a square. All right, so an adjustment from defeat to peace, to truce, harmony, and rest. There was, I think, a big message here that you need to slow down, make a few adjustments in your personal, professional life, whatever it is. Something was definitely, you were overgiving or overtaking, but there was a correction that needed to happen. Some of it might have been painful with the 5 of Swords there. And these are all swords showing up, really. Thoughts, clarity, communication coming through the lunar portal. Somebody speaking their mind here, even in this picture, the indicator card, it's like her higher heart chakra, her throat chakra, something is being cleared. Clear your throat. Something is unblocked. Maybe you can speak your truth here in the Justice card. That's going to bring about more harmony, or you're asking for a ceasefire or something. We're going to get more information. You're asking for peace, whether inner, it feels inner here, or between a situation and another person, which, you know, the 7th house Libra rules those relationships. All right, for your first oracle card, to expand on this, we're going to get your Queen of the Moon card, since that came out first as well. All right, new beginnings. So this is pointing towards the new moon happening at the end of the month, the 21st. You're clearing, you're making space. So maybe now is a good time to declutter your mind, your home, your body, but rebalance those scales. Be prepared to walk through this doorway. It's a narrow path, the middle path. It's something you cannot be off balance, or else you might miss it. You might not make the window. So between the full moon and the new moon, we're making adjustments inside, sometimes outside, or both. That could be what the disharmony is. Maybe your actions are not reflective of your thoughts or your inner world. Okay, let's get some astrology cards for you. We have Virgo. We still have the Sun in Virgo for this full moon, shining its light upon the full moon in Pisces. So this is the 6th house of health, healing, integrity, reverence, and service. Could have to do with your work life, maybe finding a new career, the struggle to find peace, to walk away from a situation or a relationship. Underneath, we have that square I mentioned earlier between Jupiter and Sun. So middle of the month is going to be pivotal for you. I think it's going to help you. I feel like if you ever go bowling, right, and they have bumpers up, it feels like you're bouncing back and forth between these extremes. Bouncing off the bumpers, but it's pushing you into like a narrow, like a cattle chute, to come into alignment in order to make it through this doorway. So the square is difficult, yes. It's the 5 of Swords. It's painful. Healing is painful, but something cannot be ignored anymore. Okay, a Rose Oracle card for you. We have the Anointed, Answer the Call, Leadership, Empowerment, Soul Gifts. So maybe there was something that you weren't utilizing, something that you were given at birth that's been suppressed, hidden. There's been a detour from it. And if you can hear that, the rain outside my house is pretty awesome because it wasn't even in the forecast and it hasn't rained here for weeks. So as soon as I started gathering my stuff to sit down and film this, it started raining. Now it's picking up again. So the Anointed, the oil on the head, right? There's something that you've been connected to higher self, to source. It's asking you to be who you really are. Step into your leadership. Utilize your gifts. Don't let them go to waste. Underneath, we have healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. Okay. Of course, Pisces being a water sign, you know, this rain is very cleansing. We're just coming off the full moon and it's like releasing, flushing. So I'm getting a couple ancestor cards here. Yeah, we have underneath the Druid, hold the space. This is either you or a spirit guide, somebody again who is preparing this doorway for you. Your other guides here, Sky Father, Trust in the Unknown. And underneath the main tarot deck that I'm using for all three piles, we all got the star, right? So that's Uranus. And Uranus is known as the sky god, I believe. But the unknown, the unexpected. So be prepared to be surprised, I think, in certain areas where you may have lacked confidence or faith. And then we have summer, bask in joy and light. Well, it's going to feel like summer, regardless of what season we're moving into. There's a fullness of the sun, the solar plexus shining through. I mentioned the throat here earlier, but it can extend down to, I mean, it's very yellow in the center of this card, and we have the solar plexus being represented there as well. So there's something, joy, light, anointed, the crown is opening. I think you're starting to, again, answer your call of service to someone, something that's going to use an innate skill you already have or a dormant skill that you have yet to develop. All right, an alchemy card for pile 1, please. Ooh. Okay, so I had 2 fall out. And the first one that I see is number 13, which is traditionally death card, Scorpio, but we have it lightning here in the alchemy deck, and that is the second phase of the alchemical process, dark, light, and then yellow and red. So next to that, we also got the fog, number 39, and nebula. So the fog of Neptune that rules Pisces is still conjunct Saturn. It's a fog is lifting, or you've been surrounded by a fog of confusion. That could be the 5 of Swords too, not seeing your gifts, not seeing the doorway. Something has kept you kind of in a lower energetic state. But let's talk about lightning for a minute. Not only just the fact that, you know, could be Zeus, also Jupiter, sending lightning as above, so below. There's some power source that's being channeled through you. It's like getting connected to the grid. You're plugged in, maybe spending some time grounding or using grounding products like a mat or sheets for your bed might be helpful in anchoring this energy that might feel a bit chaotic and disruptive at first. So the lightning is leucosis, perfectionism, facade, or hesitation. The stage of leucosis is a complex topic in alchemy. On the one hand, it represents purification of the materials. On the other hand, it's the phase in which the alchemist may mistake the work as complete. On the surface, everything seems perfect, pristine, well thought through, and quite complete. In actuality, the alchemist has been tricked by their own facade of perfection. Their work has hardly begun. Righteousness and fear are the great errors of leucosis. This card arrives to remind us not to get our hands dirty. No one is separate from or above anyone else. Rather, every alchemist is a kid in the laboratory, tinkering away with the elements of their life. No more fretting over your next move, fearing how others will perceive you. It's time to crack open, become who you are. The world needs your true colors. All right, so we spoke of the solar plexus chakra earlier. That has to do with fear and self-confidence, and the card is even titled Self. So there's a new importance that you need to place on yourself because you are a leader. You are anointed. You are touched by the divine. You are connected to your higher self. So there's no fear to be had, fear of judgment or failure or disappointment. either by yourself or someone else. And that could be the struggle, the mental struggle that you're having in here, worrying about being defeated. And even the side note here, it says, imagine a rainbow with no yellow. The colors remain static. Disconnecting the gift of yellow is bridging of all phases, the full expression of life's spectrum. Yellow rides a fine line. In art, the color is often interpreted as cheeriness covering turmoil, as seen in the late paintings of Van Gogh. Well, either way, there's a bursting forth. There's an expansion of the solar plexus here. Why am I reading Xanthosis? Okay, so I accidentally turned the page. I guess nothing is by accident, right? So the side notes for the lightning. So the yellow is the stage you're moving into then, following the cracking of this egg. The feeling like, okay, I'm complete now, everything is good. But no, it's time to change again, just when you get comfortable. The blank canvas is a great example of leucosis. It's terrifying to start for fear of making a mistake. Today is the day. Make a mark. Begin the work. Leucosis is related to the alchemical operation of calcinatio. If these cards appear together, it's a sign that things may have calcified, implying a kind of buildup or rigidity. Well, I didn't get that card here. But since reading that, I mean, I'm thinking about calcifying the pineal gland. That's maybe the brain fog you've been feeling, so a detox might be in order, whatever that means for you. So pile one, there is still work to be done. But you're cracking open the egg. You're breaking through this seemingly hardened state of being where you felt stuck or maybe entrapped by this egg. But it's time to break through that. It's time to shed the skin and give birth to the new self, to the true self. And underneath we have Archangel Raphael, provider of healing for mind, body, and spirit. So maybe work with that angel if you feel called to do so, or wearing the color green. That angel works with the heart chakra. And we have intuition. Trust your intuition. Okay, so this is giving me very much Queen of Swords vibes, but also, you know, unicorns are fictional creatures. They're impossible to capture or whatever. But there's also a harp under there. I never noticed that before. I'm not sure why, but music could be an important part of your healing or sound healing. There's also a hummingbird going in your ear. Humming in your ears or ringing in your ears. Okay. And underneath the 3 selection cards deck, I had perception, and that feels like a Queen of Swords moment as too, as well as, you know, seeing clearly, seeing the truth. We're piercing the fog here. We're coming out and stepping into our truth. The fog of illusion, confusion, like sleep. It almost feels like you were sleepwalking and there was something that had to jerk you awake with that 5 of Swords in the beginning. We have You Are Enough. Okay, the solar plexus being emphasized again here. That yellow phase that's coming in next. Refinement of the skills, wholeness, completion, more sun rays. You are whole, you are complete. Maybe some of you have been working on soul retrieval, and we have abundance. Okay. So that's abundance and clarity coming in for you through this new moon portal coming up. So the next 2 weeks are critical for realigning your state of mind, opening yourself to this idea of healing once and for all with Virgo, believing in yourself and your mission here. You're surrounded by joy and light. Archangel Michael, abundance. So these 4 and 5 of Swords shouldn't be intimidating at all. If you felt defeated in one area of your life, it doesn't mean that you're a failure in every part of your life. It's there's peace and resolution here. Jupiter and Libra. I said the sun's entering Libra as Jupiter enters Cancer, and it's making a square. We had that coming up. So it's change for the better, but it's difficult change. So if you put in the work, you're going to find peace that you've never known before. An archetype card. I just split the deck here and got number 52. The Tear has to do with, again, Pisces, water, cleansing, releasing. There could be a lot of crying that could help you release these blockages. And as I said, you know, now the rain's picking up again. Some magic cards for pile 1, please. Goddess, healing feminine energy. And that'll heal your ability to receive. We have happy love, a joyful, stable partnership, and good friends. So, like I said, you are complete enough by yourself, but that's going to attract genuine people into your life that are supportive, perhaps feminine in energy with the goddess card there. We have air, work through the element of air to cut through the core of a situation and see the truth. Yeah, cut through the fog. Eyes opening, clearing up. And a journey of love card to finish this up. We are ending with Woman of Light, number 49. Again, that purple, blue, crown and throat chakra energy. Pure is my joy, my celebration. I know the divine to be eternal. There is no limit to my peace, to my pleasure, as I rise and rise again. Capable am I of receiving the light, of accepting the next level of illumination. I am sacred flesh coming to light. I am the walking temple, the living goddess, she who shines with truth. I come to you now. I am one with you now. I am the awakened one and the awakener. Well, Uranus is the great awakener, right? Uranus and the star. Aquarius ruled by that planet. This oracle brings you guidance that you are to be witness of the presence of an awakened being, either within your own self or as part of your spiritual destiny or in the form of a beloved other. An awakened one is in your midst or soon will be. Receive the blessing that emanates from such a being, for to behold one is a gracious spiritual gift that will lift you to the next step of your path. If you're having trouble discerning the true presence of an awakened teacher in your midst, or even in your own being, remember that nothing is asked from you by such awakened ones, but loving devotion so that they may serve the awakening of all living beings. It requires much karmic grace to be granted immediate access to an awakened being, even more to become such a living light. Take delight. And here underneath the deck, remember the ancestor we have is the druid holding the space. This could be a teacher, a mentor, or this could be an ancestor within you, within your subconscious, who's there holding this torch, this lantern. It does remind me of the Virgo, right? The hermit card even looks like a hermit. Holding the light, holding the space for your presence, like shining light on this doorway. It's all dark all around it, but there's someone holding a beacon or a lantern over the path for you. You'll be drawn to it like moth to a flame. All right, pile number 1, be on the lookout for that influential person or that being arising within yourself this month or the next 2 weeks at least. And we'll see you for the new moon reading later on the 21st. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, pile number 2. You chose the King of Earth. So Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn energy. Very masculine there with the antlers, the green man. Let's see what your first tarot card is. We have Strength with the 9 of Wands. Sorrow for the 3 of Swords. The Queen of Swords. And Lust, number 11. So this is the Strength card. So 8 and 11 are reversed in this deck, and I will have to censor this. All right, pile 2. So it looks to me right away that some kind of partnership, relationship has gone south with Saturn and Libra representing the 3 of Swords. Some heartbreak, difficulty. The Queen of Swords is traditionally the Queen of Divorce. We have the 9 of Wands here indicating a warrior who's been through a lot of battles and is trying to recover. But I mean, you've had the strength to endure whatever challenges that Saturn has thrown your way or the world. And this being the Strength card too, actually traditionally called Strength. So we are bookended by Strength here with difficulty in the middle. Perseverance. There's maybe a long drawn out discussion or debate between you and somebody else, maybe at the workplace or in a personal relationship, or some even internal struggle that you're having to overcome. Cutting off the head of the snake. But something had to be removed permanently from your life that was not good for you. And yes, that's, when you get shot with an arrow, you have to pull it out, so you can heal properly. So neither experience is particularly enjoyable, but this is telling me that you had the strength to do that, to pull yourself out of a situation or even a state of mind. This could have been a deep depression. If so, I'm so sorry. It's difficult. But there is something like saying, cut it out. You're not going to think that way anymore or behave that way anymore. This is my decision and I'm sticking to it. Some of you could be setting down firm boundaries with people about your personal time or space and having to defend that. But let's get some more information from your oracle cards to expand on this. All right, so your Queen of the Moon oracle is number 31, the Faith card. So this is a full moon, the worm moon in spring. So your dispute could involve, in fact, a family member or mother or partner, but this could feel like your faith has been challenged here with all these difficult obstacles that you've had to overcome. This is telling you to keep the faith. This is the 31st, the end of the month, perhaps October 31st. We have Samhain, the portal. You could be seeing a light at the end of the tunnel at that time, by the end of the month. And another card we have is the Void, number 1, a new beginning, the dark moon. So that would be the new moon happening on the 21st. So the last 10 days of this month could be rather impactful for you. It's encouraging you to keep the faith that things will all work out. If you stick to your principles, you don't deviate, you're not tempted by any distractions or compromise. There's something that's telling you to hold the line, and you'll be given this. You just have to make it to the newness, make it to the fresh start here in the new moon. All right, I lifted up the deck, and again, I got power. It's like somebody was cutting your power, or you're cutting off somebody's power over you. And then we have also 33 under here at the bottom of the deck, the flower moon blossoming. So 2 full moon cards, a new moon card. Actually, yeah, 3 full moon cards. So maybe even 3 months from now, your life is going to look dramatically different. So by January full moon, the beginning of the new year, hopefully we see more positive results increasing as we move towards that date. But 31 and 1, so yeah, ending 1 month, beginning a new. You could also be seeing those numbers repeat themselves, 31 and 13. All right, so your alchemy card is number 71, conjunction. So this is the second to last card in the deck. Completion, union of moon and sun, male and female, coming together. I think the last card is the alchemical wedding. Oh, never mind. This is the last card in the deck. So the world, completion, endings with, we had 3 full moons and a new moon. New cycle, love, divine union, and infinity. Conjunctio is the great alchemical operation of love. During this stage, we witness the miraculous work of the 2 opposites merging to create a unique third form. Sun and moon unite to reveal the entire cosmos. Black and white unite to reveal the spectrum of color. Unlike coagulatio, conjunctio represents a conscious and benevolent union, one that springs forth from awareness, acceptance, and devotion. It is not a compromise, but rather an activation, a holding of tension and presence that allows each of the entities to thrive and express themselves. Experiencing conjunctio is one of the blessings of the human experience, whether the bond is with human, nature, or divinity. Recognize it by the stirring of your heart and an element of surprise. Through the opposites arises the infinite. So maybe again, this for some of you, you are getting out of a toxic relationship and making space for a more appropriate and energetically balanced partner who's going to complement you and come with you through this dark moon, this void. It could be a dark night of the soul that you're walking through here. It looks like it with the sorrow and the 9 of Wands, a trial for sure. That's maybe testing your faith, your resilience. But it's like, as your reward at the end, this is what you have made space for. And some of you might have been drawn or torn between pile 2 and 3. I haven't read pile 3 yet, but since this has to do with love and union, you might want to check that out. So let's see. The alchemist is patient and true to their own heart. Do not be fooled by preconceived images of what conjunctio looks like. Love is creative and therefore seeks new forms. Take note if this card appears with the alchemical wedding or the Venus card. If so, the message of love is resonating loud and clear. So it's not present here, but I think also this month on October 9th, so a few days from now, we have Venus moving into Virgo, where it is debilitated. So we might see struggles in love, but also Virgo being an earth sign, like Capricorn and Taurus. So it's giving rise to... We're coming out of Venus in Leo, right? And maybe there was something extreme, extremely seductive about that period of time. You may have met this person years ago when Venus was last in Leo, but now it's come to light that there's something more stable for you. Sometimes we confuse stability for boredom, and that's not the case. Why don't we get a Journey of Love card to expand on this message? Okay, we have the spaces between the words, number 24. So read between the lines. Sometimes silence speaks louder than actions. Well, it is an action. And we have beauty. Okay, the space between the words. So it looks like beauty can be found in silence, maybe in solitary for a while. All right, and your archetype card as I cut the deck is the Sword, number 62, and we started with the Queen of Swords. Oh, wrong card. There we go. And the Queen card was right next to it. So anyway, obviously she has more to say. Let's find out. Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, truth coming through. All right, so this is titled The Knife, the Blade, the Weapon. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth when the cord we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourself. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. So the side note even says boundary making, prioritizing, and clarifying are all gestures made possible by the sword. The sword is a metaphor for the pen and the brush, the artist's fierce and graceful tools. So maybe you could find some healing and encouragement through writing or art. Contemplate the Buddhist philosophy of the first and second arrows. Swing the sword once with precision and commitment. More than that will be painful for everyone involved. Notice how, this gruesome depiction, she's holding a head in her hand. It's one swift, clean blow to cut somebody off, to cut somebody out of your life. Maybe that was weighing you down or has caused multiple wounds over the years. And it's time to put an end to that. Whether you could be the perpetrator too. Stopping that thought, that air sign of that destructive pattern or thinking. Another journey card for us. Oh, I forgot to mention, when I was randomly shuffling for the 3 piles, I ended with this card on the bottom, Perception. So it's number 21, the World, and she's holding a sword. So something about those air signs this month is really sticking out. And we have for your journey card, Receive. Okay. As a result of upholding your boundaries or committing to a decision, you're going to receive blessings. It's not oscillation between these two. It looks like the 2 of coins almost, going back and forth. Should I stay? Should I go? I don't know what to do. But there's clarity, unequivocal clarity coming through about what you should do. And it's up to you to follow through with that. That's creating the space, this void for the abundance and blessing to come through, whatever it may look like for you. A better partner, a new job, getting away from a toxic friend or family member. But to me, it looks like, you're receiving peace of mind here. You can rest easy in the darkness of the void. And under that, we do have cosmic flow. So it is a full moon in Pisces in water. So releasing these things is it's a good time to do so between this full moon and the new moon coming up October 21st in Libra. And that's, again, 7th house partnerships. Could be opening the door to a new relationship, a more beneficial one. All right, let's see what your ancestors have to say about this experience. Well, same as I've been shuffling, but Sky Father, trust in the unknown. Underneath the tarot deck for everybody, we have the Star, ruled by Uranus and Aquarius. And that's the unknown, the unexpected. So trust in your higher self. And underneath we have High Priestess, harness mystic power. You are the priestess this month. And even though she's not holding a sword, she still looks like she's very much in control of a situation. Maybe you have a familiar or animal pet around you that is protective. All right, and a rose cord to finish off this reading. We have come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance and desires. Well, what do we have here in our journey card? Receive. So there's something good coming in for you after all of these struggles, all these tests of your faith, challenges, but it is asking you to make a decision here with the sword. You have to be clear and decisive about what you want and what you don't want in your life. And finishing up with some magic cards for pile 2, please. All right, we have love charm, attract a lover, soulmate, or life partner. So I feel like a lot of you are going to have a more appropriate relationship following this new moon on the 21st. We have prosperity, again with that receive, prosperous business, riches, and successes. And I had a card fall down here. The elements of fire, air, earth, and water combine to create powerful protective boundaries. Brought up again, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. And labyrinth, transition to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration, enlightenment. So that's definitely coming for you. You're finding your way out of this maze. You're breaking cycles, and we're ready to start fresh this month. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, Pile 2. Take care. We'll see you at the new moon on the 21st. Bye. Hi, Pile number 3. You chose this card, Love, number 12. And as I started filming this morning, right as I was getting ready to, it started raining, and there was no rain in the forecast that I was aware of. It hasn't rained for weeks. And Pile 2, the rain slowed dramatically, and now as soon as I stopped recording Pile 2, the sun came back out. So we have here her solar plexus, her heart being illuminated. There's light returning to the heart. Let's find out what your cards have to say. Okay, the Chariot, Cancer, movement, extension, nurturing. And we have abundance, the Three of Cups, Mercury in Cancer, all right. The Princess of Swords, and futility, the Seven of Swords. There's that moon in Aquarius. All right. If you're coming from one of the previous 2 piles, then these swords should be resonating with you. The swiftness of the cutting out of the BS, the removal of deceivers, liars, confusion, fog, anything that was keeping you from your abundance, from accelerating in your spiritual growth. These blocks are being removed and released here at the full moon. I feel like, again, this love is more love of self, and some of you might be drawn to pile 1 as well. But let's get some oracle cards to expand upon this reading for you. Let's start with your moon card. I mean, with the Cancer being highlighted here twice, the first 2 cards, that's the 4th house, home, family, security, mothering, maybe mothering yourself for a little bit. We have surrender, number 26. That's the feminine energy, surrender to higher self, higher forces. And we have focus, number 14, fallout. And the other 2 indicator cards for this pick a card were number 14. So, but you're regaining focus. There is clarity coming through the swords. Like I said, I feel like you're removing any of these 6 swords that are coming at you. There's no more distractions. Whatever it is, you're becoming more honed in on what you want and the power that resides within you to either heal yourself, your relationship. But there's more focus on connecting to source, I think, more than another physical being at this time. Underneath, we have number 7 again, like the Chariot. 7th house is Libra, where the new moon will take place on the 21st. But nourishment, nourish the mind, body, and spirit. The Chariot is always a card of success. So you are defeating, again, 7 and 7, right? 777 now we have. Good luck for you. And that's why this abundance is pouring out over you. You're embodying the Princess or Queen of Swords. This is like the Page of Swords, news, information that's going to release you, to set you free. Or information that's going to nourish your mind, your soul. All right, now Journey card, we have a light in the dark. So, yeah, it feels like, obviously, this side is darker and more blues and grays. We have bright yellow and red, root and solar plexus being highlighted here. There's a light returning to this experience. Once you surrender and focus, you're not distracted anymore. Just focus on the light right now. Don't focus on the depression, the dark. We have synchronicity also shown by a butterfly here, another butterfly. So transformation is happening as we're coming out of the darkness. New doors are opening, setting your path on a new journey. And yeah, underneath the was difficulties. So I feel like you are either coming from pile 1 or 2, but there's been many trials, but there's not been... surrender is different than giving up. It's trusting in the divine, trusting in the plan, the path, and what is meant for you. Some doors might be closing while others open. And your astrology card is house 4. So there's that Cancer energy, healing, nurturing, water energy. We have this Pisces full moon. So anything you have in sidereal Cancer natally is going to be harmoniously trined and fed this positive energy for healing is available. So cultural family roots, home, peace, comfort. I mentioned the red showing up as the root chakra. Something could be healed involving the mother or the home. And underneath is Libra, healing partnerships, friendships, relationships, but consideration, fairness, and harmony returning as we have the sun moving into Libra on the 18th of this month. Maybe you watched all 3 piles today. They feel very connected. I can't seem to get away from this core message. So, all right, let's get a message from your ancestors, please. Pile 3. Okay. Oh, Earth Guardian. Well, this looks like Archangel Raphael again. The green, the heart chakra. Stay rooted and grounded. We're speaking of roots again. Grounding exercises, meditations, or products, perhaps like mats or sheets on your bed, could be helpful to discharge that chaotic, distracting energy. And then we have Druid, hold the space, hold the focus, meditation. Hold a space for this light. He's got the torch like the Hermit card, right? Holding a lantern in the dark. So do not abandon all hope if that's how you're feeling. And we have the moon. Take note of intuitive messages, the full moon underneath here. So I think a lot of you may be getting messages through your dreams at night or during this full moon. Maybe you had a crazy dream last night and a revelation that followed on how to solve this problem or this imbalance. The trees are important. Maybe spend time near or around trees, planting them. Maybe just even watching the birds, feeding them. Let's see, a rose oracle for you. Earth medicine is very important. Here we have the breathing rose. Heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. Time heals all wounds, right? But we've been talking about the heart chakra since the beginning of this reading. There might be a huge block that's removed. You might have shed a lot of tears recently. But again, this is a return to the light. The sun came out after the rain as I started filming this reading. And underneath we have trust the seasons, embracing change, cycles of life, transition, and growth. Well, that's the death card if I ever heard of it, Scorpio. Another water sign. So it's time to maybe let go of a certain phase of your life. Perhaps you were a mother and you've now entered your crone phase, or you're becoming a mother for the first time, but there's some identity around your feminine energy that is being released or transformed or healed. And it looks like she's got her hands on her solar plexus or sacral and root. Again, those lower chakras may need realigned, grounding, electrical discharge. What do we have? Dissolution that flipped over here. Number 65. Dissolving blockages. Yep, this card is called Surrender, Dissolving, and Formless. What did we have here? Surrender. Okay, Solutio is the great alchemical operation of water. It represents the form becoming formless. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, that which is solid dissolving into liquid. In many alchemical texts, it's the first operation and summarizes the heart of alchemy, as in the axiom, dissolve to unite. For our purposes, it is important to know Solutio involves a dissolving of definitions, identities, and labels, the strongholds of the ego drawn into the emotional realm of water. We dive back to the beginning, the prima materia. This operation is humbling and disorienting, and oftentimes feels as though the self we knew has disappeared. Who are we now? How will others describe us? When these questions are afoot, the alchemical magic of Solutio is underway. By surrendering to the waves, we unite with the primordial essence and return to our deepest self. Water is always in motion, much like our emotions. Solutio requires us to let the tears flow, to soften the edges, to soak the healing waters of our feelings. If this card appears with the Drowned King, take note. Both indicate the ego is ready to be surrendered to something greater than itself. Hang on for the ride. All right, and on the split for the archetype card, we have Gnosis, number 75. 65, 75. This is innermost knowing and mystic truths. True knowledge is not found in facts and figures and scholarly books on library shelves. Rather, Gnosis points to the deep and timeless archetypal wisdom that rises from the felt experience of having touched the unknown with every one of the senses. Those who are drawn to Gnosis find themselves in esoteric studies like involving mysticism, alchemy, healing, or perhaps science. Knowing is their calling, not knowing is their job description. No matter how far the alchemists take their studies, they come to the ultimate conclusion that facts slip toward mystery, and soon the mystery results in facts. This card signifies a knowing that life is changing. Once you experience it, you are forever changed and become a guardian of Gnosis. The eternal mystery is calling you. Study your passion in the deepest way available to you. What do we have? Trust the seasons, embrace change, cycles of life, transition, and growth. Okay, so your knowledge, your awareness is expanding. Your connection to higher self is expanding the more you surrender. Those who say they know, don't. Those who say they don't know, know. This card relates to the riddle and the shapeshifter, all concern themselves with revealing mystic truths. And it kind of feels like the dissolution card too, like the dissolving of the ego. The more you learn about yourself, the more connected you become to, or you're getting more to the core of the truth of who you are. It's not this facade anymore that you were raised to believe and hold up as a mask to the world. There's more of a surrender now, and a dissolving of that identity. All right, so we're going to get some magic cards for you and wrap this up. Pile 3. All right, we have Awen, 3 rays of light, balancing male and female energy, peace and harmony. Could have to do with, again, Libra, harmonization. And the triple spiral, listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. So we have 3-3 showing up. Mastering something this month. And how about a wisdom card as well? I don't think I drew one for the second group. Let's get this one. Pile 3. All right, Epiphany. See clarity. Yeah, I think that's Epiphany with Gnosis. Archangel Gabriel, messenger of creativity and hope. That could be that Page of Swords that we saw in the beginning. Messages coming in, or work with that archangel if you feel drawn to do so. Underneath we have vacation, take time for relaxation and adventure. So it's not all serious, it's not all hard work. There's peace, release, and comfort coming for you. The more you surrender to the flow, the easier it'll feel. And I guess I can't have this reading complete. It's titled Love, right? So I'm going to get a Journey of Love card for pile 3. What do they need to know? Pile 3. Oh, okay. Sweet Soul Rising. Yeah. An ascension, a lightening, a light in the dark, right? Didn't that come up for you? Yeah. Rising toward the light, coming out of a dark night. Underneath that, we have Fire and Ice, number 37. These polarities becoming balanced within, the masculine, the feminine. All right, so you may feel lost in your own thoughts and feelings. This is the sweetness of surrender into another world. It's a time to dream, to wonder, not to be clear and sharp right at this precise moment. If you have a clear plan, let it become soft and feel your heart open to allowing whatever may be. We may believe that it is through tough action and dynamic assertiveness that we make our way through the world. Yet sometimes the sweetness of the soul rises, and instead we can flow gently with the currents of the cosmic ocean, unsure of where we are headed, but safe in the truth that all waters naturally return to the ocean, where they are all wanting to go eventually anyway. You can use your own efforts to swim to your destination against the current at times, or you can float to the sweet love of your own soul as it enjoys the privilege of getting to know itself as one with the divine. This oracle brings you guidance now. Surrender and flow. This is not the time to assert your will and try and make things happen, no matter how much you may want to or believe that you should. There is something bigger happening, and everything is going to turn out perfectly according to a far larger plan that includes your well-being too, beloved. Sometimes we have to let go of our expectations about how that bigger plan will be achieved and just let it happen, trusting that it will actually take place even without us striving to make it so. This is one of those times. All right, so more emphasis on the feminine, the water aspect of release. It goes hand in hand with this Pisces full moon. We're at the end of a cycle, and it's time to let go once and for all. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, Pile 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Feel free to check out other piles if you feel called to do so. Otherwise, we'll see you next time during the new moon reading on the 21st. Take care. Bye-bye.